What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. This is going to be a two-part video. The first part is going to be the live trading from today, May 3rd, and then the second part is going to be my broker statement and my PnL from April 2021. Wanted to make sure that I cleared that up in the beginning, and now enjoy the video. All right, what's up, everyone? New month, Monday, May 3rd. Whenever I start a new month, I want to make sure to just always try to keep calm, not get too excited. Because I know that whenever I start a month off, I'm very excited. And when I take trades and for some reason I start in the hole, it just it mentally can mess me up. So I make sure that to get, no need to push it, come in easy, like always, try to wait for good setups and don't get ahead of myself. So now let's just go top-down approach, looking at the market, taking a look at SPY. Just been hanging around all-time highs. We got the gap up this morning, so the levels that I'm looking at, all-time high, 420.72, and then also prior day's low, which is right near that 9 EMA. So if we lose it, it does look like there is some possible room down to like the 20, but it's obviously got to get below that first, and that level is 416.34. And now looking at the Qs, nice period of consolidation, close to all-time highs. It is kind of caught between two moving averages right here, the 9 EMA and the 20 SMA. So getting a little bit of a gap up. The main two levels that I'm looking at, prior day's high, 340.26. If for some reason there's some weakness in the market, prior day's low, 336.90. Also knowing that all-time high is above at 342.80. And then getting into my watch list, not watching a whole lot today, but obviously number one, Tesla, favorite stock. I watch this every single day. Nice big green momentum candle. Reclaimed a lot of the moving averages on the daily. The main levels that I'm looking at, prior day's high, 715.47, pre-market low, 699, and pre-market high, 708.63. And I just want to see if it gets to any one of these levels and create some sort of clean flag pattern to possibly take a trade. Also watching GME. So GME daily looks pretty good. Long period of consolidation. It's above all the moving averages. All the moving averages are nice and tight together. So the levels that I'm looking at, pre-market high, 178, prior day's high, 183.80, and then the major big level, 188. And then I'm also watching Facebook, so had the gap up for earnings. It's holding it for now. If it takes out the low of this earnings gap, it does look like it could fill the downside gap. If it takes the upside out, looks good for a nice move higher. So the levels that I'm looking at right now is that low, 321.61, pre-market low, 324, pre-market high, 326.28, prior day high, 329.82, but also knowing that all-time high is 331.81. And then the last one on my list is Netflix. So had the big gap down from earnings. It's held this 500 support. Nice big candle the day prior. And if it takes out this high right here, 515.46, it does look like it has a chance to reclaim the 9 EMA and possibly work its way into the gap. So that's the watch list. Those are the levels. And like always, especially when starting a new month, I want to just patiently wait for a clean setup and not get ahead of myself. All right, there's the bell. So obviously watching this Tesla, and this did look like a nice little downside flag right around that pre-market low, but I can already tell just by watching the price action, volume is a little low. SPY and Qs have the gap up. I mean, they are selling off a little bit, but the direction is still very unclear. So, I don't want to just trade every single tick simply because it looks really good. I want everything to line up and then kind of go with the flow. And right now, it feels a little too early to want to take that trade. It would have been all right, though. I mean, there was a quick little move there. The last thing that I'm trying to do in my trading is feel like I need to trade every single tick and wait for setups to look really good. If you watch my videos, it really only takes a handful of days to be able to put together my month. So not over trading on the days in between is key for me to not getting in trouble. So that ended up being an all right flag pattern. Another little flag. I think the reason I didn't want to take it is just the volume was really low. And even though it looked all right, pretty big move from 705, coming into a strong candle the day prior, probably overthought it a little bit. But when this came down that much off the open, and this does look like a nice flag, I left it alone. My gut told me I didn't want to jump into anything too quick, especially being a new month. And of course, this was a decent flag pattern, below VWAP, riding the 9 EMA, and it did have some decent follow through. So missed out on a trade, but that's okay. I don't want to beat myself up simply because I missed one trade. We got a whole month ahead of us. So I know as long as I stay disciplined and wait for good setups, that throughout the month, everything should be okay. So I'm watching this Facebook, sold off a little bit. Look at this huge reversal. A lot of buying. Coming to high day, 327.87. Here's the thing though, a lot of green candles in a row. I am definitely not chasing this. I would like to see a little bit of consolidation, take out the high, also knowing that prior day's high is above at 329.82 and all-time high is at 331.81. This looks all right, but the market needs to continue to hold up. If SPY and Qs just start to dump or sell off pretty aggressively, obviously I want to be careful about going long. And this is a great example right here of why I try my best not to chase numerous green candles in a row and vice versa, numerous red candles in a row. Because even though it looks really good and there's the FOMO of, oh, well, I may miss the high day break, a lot of times this is what happens. The moment it looks its best, I swear, is when it pulls back. And I've been caught in those plenty of times. So now I just have the discipline to always wait for some sort of consolidation and flag pattern because I've noticed that has a much better probability and kind of a safer setup for myself. I'm going to go for the high day right there. Filled at 423. Market also needs to hold up as well. Still want to give it a chance. Came right back to the 9 EMA. Getting back up towards the highs. Does it have the juice to get going? Market's a little slow. Okay, starting to pick up. There we go. All right, so pulled right back to the 9. Held it. Now getting a nice push, and I just want to see, can this go a little bit further? My option price is 423. I don't want to let this trade go red now. I'll take some off just because it's going a little slow. I have 2 left. All right, getting a little push. All right, coming out of that. So I had the push, starting to pull back below 328. Don't want to be a part of a pullback, so I'm just going to bail on that. To be honest, Facebook is a bit of a slower mover, so not one of my favorite stocks to trade, so I'll just take the little win and move on. And that's a good example of why I'm such a big fan of trading Tesla, because if you happen to be on the right side of it and you catch those quick moves, the moves are points. I was in that Facebook trade for just under 5 minutes, and I got like 60 cents. Whereas Tesla, if you've watched my videos before, when I get it right, it's like I can get 2 or 3 points in 30 seconds to a minute. So that's why it's my favorite stock to trade and kind of my go-to. And I'm almost at this point exclusively a Tesla trader. You know, that was kind of a painful 5 minutes to make very little money. So my patience is close to zero. You know, I really like to scalp. I like to be in the trade, and when I can get it going in my favor right, get a nice move, and just take the quick profits. And Tesla is one of the few stocks in the market where that can consistently be done, and that's why I like to trade it so much. So taking that one trade on Facebook, got a very small win, wasn't even that clean, so I ended up just getting out of it. But the price action, it kind of sucks so far. So just looking at SPY, pretty choppy. Qs showing a little bit more strength, but still nothing that clean. And I've just been sitting back playing defense since, and we're getting close to that hour mark, and I know that my win rate drops drastically after the first hour. So the last thing that I want to do is force anything. And even though it's a small, green, uneventful, non-exciting day, I don't want to screw that up and possibly turn that into a red day. All right, well, I've been sitting back trying to wait for something to set up. But I got to be honest, besides Tesla having a few very quick flag patterns to the downside that I think I probably just overthought a little bit and stayed away from and missed, which, hey, I'm not perfect. It happens every now and then. I don't feel the need to have to trade every single pattern. When they set up really good and they scream very loud at me and the overall market is all kind of together, that's where I can put up decent days and bigger PnL, and the days in between that, it's about just not getting chopped up. Today definitely feels like one of those days. It's a slower Monday and the start to a new month. We're going on an hour into the day. I got one so-so trade on Facebook, and this is where I'm just going to call it a day. Now to go look at the portfolio, I ended up making 91 bucks trading Facebook calls. Okay, now the second part of this video, which I think is the most important part, is not only am I documenting my trades throughout the month, but I'm also providing a broker statement to show that what I'm doing is totally legit. I'm a real trader, and I'm trying to constantly get better, just like everybody else who's watching my videos. So now to look at the top right, my name, April 1 to April 30th. So the very top is stocks. So ended up taking some trades on Coin, CrowdStrike, GME, Nvidia, and Tesla, and ended up losing $3.60 trading shares. So clearly options is my bread and butter, and now to get into the PnL of that, the bottom portion of this is all the option trades. Happened to make a decent amount on Amazon, traded all the usual suspects, Facebook, Microsoft, Nvidia, PayPal, Roku, and then my best friend Tesla, which is what I trade pretty much every single day and usually is what my monthly PnL is made of, ended up netting $8,077. So to be honest, it was a pretty decent month. I mean, obviously, I'd like to make as much as I possibly can, but the thing that I'm going to be able to take away from this month is that overall the equity curve was pretty smooth. There are some losses in here that are decent, like this minus 1374, but besides that, the losses were pretty controlled. So just going through, plus 479, 988, minus 49, a nice $1,746 win, a loss for minus 125. The 1374 was the worst loss, and then some of the other ones were 654, 476. But even with some of those big losses, the winners were nice as well. 749, 1155, 421. So just realizing that it's hard to be perfect. Everybody obviously loses money, and it's just about making sure that those losing days and those losing trades don't get completely out of control. Every now and then, yes, I'm guilty of letting one maybe get a little bit bigger than it needs to be, but I didn't have any massive losses, and because of that, I ended the month all right. So overall, I think I managed risk okay, and to be honest, it's hard to be upset about making $8,077 in a month. I think I probably could have got that a little bit closer to 10, but still very happy. So that was the trade recap and the broker statement from April. Hopefully you had an all right April. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.